What's up, look above Earth? My name is Stanley, and welcome to March 2021. For me here in New York, it's been like officially 1 year since lockdown began, and everything got real crazy with this whole pandemic. And it's crazy to think that we're here now. It's been a whole year, and things are definitely getting better. I remember back at this time. This was around the time when everything shut down, and about a few weeks from now was when I realized that waking up every day and playing video games and just watching a bunch of movies and TV shows got real boring, and I started to do the one thing that everyone hates to do: think about themselves. I started waking up and I started to deal with, I guess, like issues that I've kind of did a real good job distracting myself from. Because I used to be able to do things like go to the movies or go to some of my favorite restaurants or just go to New York City, and a lot of these things were taken away. And so now I'm just sitting here thinking about all these things I've never thought of, and it kind of hit me that I had a lot of things I had to deal with. Over the next few weeks, I want to bring you guys on a journey with me as I continue to grow, because that's going to happen forever. But at least for the next few weeks, I want to try to bring you guys along this journey with me and to teach you guys what I learned throughout the week. And then hopefully you can come on this journey with me and learn with me as well. I think my entire life, I spent a lot of it really waiting for opportunities to drop into my lap. And when they did, don't get me wrong, I absolutely would crush it. I would do everything I could to make the best experience for whoever I was doing anything for, and it was pretty cool. And that helped me move forward, but it just wasn't the same as if I was doing anything with my own confidence or just moving forward knowing that I was going to be okay. Because I guess after I really thought about it, I realized I didn't really have much confidence in myself. So just like some other people, or a lot of other people during the lockdown, I bought a lot of books. I started reading more than I've ever read in my entire life. And there were a lot of great books and stuff that I'll share with you later as well. But there's one particular story that I wanted to talk about today that I really feel like impacted my whole life when it came to just this idea of just doing, just going forth and just doing. And this story, I've been taught this story since I was a kid, which is crazy. It's just I actually read it this time, and I realized that I've always understood it from a bird's eye view, just the general story of what happened. And you know what, let's just get into it. So the story I want to talk about today is actually from the book of Exodus. It's from chapter 14, verse 15 and 16. Two things that stuck out with me from those particular verses. But just to give you a quick background, this story is about when Moses and the Israelites were, the Red Sea was in front of them, Pharaoh and his army behind him, and they're trying to escape this whole situation, and they're just stuck. They have the army behind them, water in front of them. What are we going to do? And verse 15 reads, "The Lord said to Moses, 'Why do you cry out to me? Tell the people of Israel to go forward.'" 16. "Lift up your staff and stretch out your hand over the sea and divide it, that the people of Israel may go through the sea on dry ground." Now, just to break that down real quick, verse 15, the thing that stuck out to me was right in the first few words. "The Lord said to Moses." That was key to me. The reason that was a big deal for me, it was because you can't recognize the voice of someone you don't know. And so, just to put that in perspective, if one of my closest friends were to be a little far from me, I don't know, we were at the Barclays Center or something, and we were a few rows away from each other, but they called my name, the reason I would recognize their voice, or had one of those moments where I instantly turned my head and see them, is because I recognized their voice, and I could probably recognize it from a mile away. This is one of my closest friends, someone I have a close relationship to. And so how do you recognize the voice of someone you barely know? And so starting right there, it's helped me realize, if I want to be able to recognize a voice, I've got to know that person. When it comes to getting to know somebody, especially in this situation, getting to know God, I'm going to be real straightforward with you. Read this thing. Moving over to verse 16, it says, "Lift up your staff and stretch out your hand over the sea and divide it, that the people of Israel may go through the sea on dry ground." Now, the reason this was huge, this was a big deal for me because from the bird's eye perspective that I've always had, it was quite simple. God split the sea, everyone got to the other side. That was the end of the story. The part that I didn't really know was how God told Moses to lift up the staff and to divide the sea. That blew my mind. The reason that blew my mind was because if God told me to split the sea, I'd be like what? Like I can barely consistently make breakfast in the morning. Like you really want me to go do something crazy like this? But then it hit me and it reminded me that, I have no faith in myself because I'm banking on the power within myself or the power within me. And that's the reason why I don't have much confidence when it comes to being able to split AC. But I don't know if you're on Instagram, but there's this one meme I love coming across, and it's this little lion sitting in front of a big lion, and the little lion, it says you, and the big lion, it says God. And it's crazy because it's a whole new world when instead of you relying on your power, start to understand that God is the power within you that you have that can go out in everything that you do. And so one thing that I take away from this whole thing is that God is asking you to meet him halfway. When God tells Moses to lift up your staff, stretch out your hand, and split the sea, it's not that Moses was going to be able to divide the sea. It's just that God had now an action to work through in order to do something amazing. It's as simple as that. One of the two things that we take away from today is I'm going to start with what it said in verse 16, which was to lift up your staff, stretch out your hand, and divide the sea. And I'm going to challenge you almost to take the next 7 days and to do something you were always afraid of doing just because you thought it wasn't going to go anywhere. Or if it's not a post and you have something to say to someone and you feel like they may not receive it, I would just challenge you to not worry about that part and just to do it. I'm one of those people who truly believe that if that person hasn't already heard that thing that's only in your heart, or if there's that piece of content that doesn't exist, I truly believe that you are probably the person that was meant to put it there, and that's probably why it's not on a lot of other people's hearts. I would challenge you this week to go ahead and just put that piece of content out there, or go speak to that person, that one thing that you want to say to help them, and to just do that for them and see what happens. At the very worst, what? Like you were just trying to help people? Down below in the description is going to be 2 links to the Look Above Earth Instagram page and mine. Please feel free to hit us up and just to let us know how things are going over the next 7 days, how your journey is going, and how things are, how this may have impacted you or helped you, or pretty much anything. We're all in this journey together, so if you want to teach me something as well, feel free to send over a lesson. I'm always down to learn. But yeah, till next week, can't wait to see you guys then. Have a good one. Peace.